सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमामस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तं पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मफलं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्त्वपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महन्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं भक्तिगद्वेन प्रियमतन्नमामि निःशेषयोगीगम्यं परं पदं खानिलाग्यं सर्पणिवोद्गतैः यथा ध्वान्तच्छिदेन नमस्तस्मै हरये बुद्धिसाक्षिणे श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Sorry. So 70th verse. Patita anagata yatyan युगपत् सर्वगोचरान् वेत्ति आत्मवत् न ही अस्मात् तेनेयं परिणामिनी. So this hetu will be explained further. I mentioned it in passing. Because buddhi does not grasp everything at once. The vrittis are sequential. Vishayakara vrittis being sequential, buddhi, ahankara cannot have darshana, aluptadruk darshana like Atma, and thereby parinamini. If everything is witnessed at once, like by the Sakshi Pratyagatma, then no vikara is needed. Vikara is only in the form of Vishaya when you are having some sambandha and then based on that Vishaya, there is some change in you. Atma does not have that at all. Atma does not connect with any Vishaya in sequence, or in fact, Asanga Atma does not connect, but Atma is Alupta Druk, meaning it sees Yugapat, everything simultaneously, conceives everything simultaneously. Satta Pradayaka and Bhana Pradayaka is Atma. So everything is simultaneous. It is not one at a time. When there is one at a time connection, then based on the Vishaya, there is a change. Imagine this. I mean, to give a very crude example, rather, you are on a stage looking at everyone versus you are talking to each and everyone. There is a huge difference. It's a very simple example to drive home that point. Might appear crude there. So in a crowd, when you are playing to the crowd, you are not having individual attention to cater to that, catering to the crowd. When you say catering to the crowd, and crowd is just here as an example there. Although, they say playing to the crowd. So looking at the crowd, some say that people may change. But the fact is what? In the example, the comparison between an individual person, individual Vishaya and the crowd. So even a teacher, so used to look at the Gurukula or Acharya, he would, move the class in such a manner that it is useful to everyone. He can't be biased towards one person or two people or however, individually he cannot be biased. So he has to cater to everyone. So there is no change. There is no Vishesha. What do you say, with the Vishaya, based on the Vishaya, there is no Vishesha Sambandha, whereby there will be Vikara. So when you are talking to an individual, you undergo change based on you configure yourself based on the Vishaya. Based on the person, you have differences. But when you are treating everyone equally, like Atma, that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Atma Upamyavat, Atma Upamyena is the word. So Atma Upamayasya. Here for buddhi, there is no atma upama. Why? Because no atmavat ne vetti. Atmavat न वेत्ति धीहि अस्मात् तेन इयं बुद्धिः परिणामिनी भवति. Not yugavat sarva gocharam. Therefore, what? With atita, anagata, all of this ihatya. Here also vartamana kala. Vartamane bhava. Iha, you can take iha in the sense vartamana kala also. So atita, anagata and ihatya. All three yugapat atma vetti. Atmavat buddhihi dhihi buddhihi na vetti. Tena hetuna iyam buddhi parinamini bhavati. So the hetu should be very clear. Because buddhi is different from atma. Atma yugapat vetti, buddhi yugapat na vetti, kramena vetti. Atma is what? Akramadrik. Therefore, what? There is a difference. They are poles apart. And thereby, atma is aparinamini, avikari, and buddhi is parinami, vikari. So with this background, now there are a lot of shlokas. So buddhe parinamitva upattihi. 71st verse. We saw this here. Tatascha. Yeah, so we have seen two sentences here. Buddhe parinamitva upattihi and tatascha etat siddham. Thereby, what is established? So we'll look at all these shlokas in sequence. Rather, we'll look at Yugapat together, not in sequence. We'll be Akramadarshi now. So 71st to 75th, we'll look at together. There is a single Anvaya because we find the verb there. Apashyan pashyatim buddhim ashrunvan shrunvatim tatha niryatno vikriyo nicchan, sorry. Niryatno vikriyo nicchan anichan, sorry. As I said, I have not slept today. Just give me one moment. Niryatno, because see, this has to be read together. I can't do padacheda there. There's a sandhi. So, anichan, icchantim, cha, chapi, chapya luktadruk. So, apashyan, pashyatim, buddhim, ashrunvan, shrunvatim, tatha, niryatno, vikriyo, nicchantim, chapya luktadruk. That is the shloka. So I can't sing it in tune if I see many sandhis and some tongue twisters. So this is 71st. Then further also dvishantim advishannatma kupyantim chapya kopanaha nirdukho dukkhinim chaiva nissukah sukhinim api amuyyamano muyyantim kalpayantim akalpayan smarantim asmaranschaiva शयानामस्वपन्मुहुः सर्वाकारां निराकारः स्वार्थो स्वार्थां निरिङ्गनः निस्त्रिकालस्त्रिकालस्थां कूटस्थः क्षणभङ्गुरां निरपेक्षश्च सापेक्षां पराचीं प्रत्यगद्वयः सावधिं निर्गते यत्तः Sarvadeheshu pashyati. So we found the word pashyati. So now padacheda. Then we look at the meaning here. So starts with 71st verse. Apashyan pashyatim buddhim ashrunvan shrunvatim tatha niryatnaha avikriyaha anichan icchantim cha api aluktadruk. द्विषन्तीम अद्विषन् आत्मा कुप्यन्तीम च अपि अकोपनः निर्दुःखः दुःखिनीं च एव निर्सुखः सुखिनीं अपि अमुह्यमानः मुह्यन्तीं कल्पयन्तीं अकल्पयन् स्मरन्तीं अस्मरन् च एव शयानाम् अस्वपन् मुहुः सर्वाकारां निराकारः स्वार्थः अस्वार्थं निरिङ्गनः निस्त्रिकालः त्रिकालस्थां कूटस्थः क्षणभङ्गुरां निरपेक्षः च सापेक्षां पराचीं प्रत्यगद्वयः. You can say pratyag and advaya can be separate also. Pratyag advayah सावधिं निर्गते यत्तः सर्वदेहेषु पश्यति. So pashyati, what Atma pashyati, apashyan pashyati, ashrunvan shrunoti ityadi. This is how we have to understand. So there are pairs, one for buddhi in second case and first case is Atma. So these Visheshanas are given. Apashyan Atma, Satranta, even while not seeing, pashyati. Kam pashyati, pashyatim buddhim pashyati. The buddhi which is seeing, pramatritva ityadi rupena. This Atma, while not seeing it, still sees it. So this is the Vishesha in Vedanta. All contradictions, apparent contradictions. Prapancha is apparent. Contradiction is also apparent. Shruti also has apparent contradiction. So following that, Bhagavan Vartikakara also uses apparent contradiction. Apashyan pashyati, ashrunvan shrunoti ityadi. While not seeing, sees. Like what? Like the Surya Prakasha. Prakashayati, but really not. Aprakashayan prakashayati. Does not intend to light up. It is self-shining. Atma also self-shining like Surya. Everything in the proximity of Atma shines up as well. So Atma is misunderstood to be the illuminator, like this Surya is misunderstood to be the illuminator. Does not illumine really, shines. Swarupatha eva shines. Similarly, Atma shines. Satya and Brahana of the Padarthas are as though automatic. Then Atma means I. I seem to be, the Karta, Bhokta, Shrota, Drashta, Manta, ityadi. So it is very easy now. If we understand one pair, then the others are similar. Apashyan Atma, Pashyatim Buddhim, Pashyati. Then Ashrunvan Atma, Ashrunvatim Buddhi Tatha, Buddhim Tatha. Niryatnaha, Avikriyaha, Anichan Atma. This Niryatnaha, there is no prayatna on the part of Surya in the example to light up the Prapancha. Similarly, there is no prayatna in the form, in the Atma. There is no prayatna of the Atma to give satta or spurti, ananda ityadi to padarthas, prapancha. Avikriya, therefore avikriya. We have seen earlier het niryatna. If yatna is there, then kriya is needed. But yatna is not there, there is no kriya. Niryatna, those who have studied Artha Sangra, those who studied Karma Kanda, Guru Mimamsa, even the basic, there you will see yatna. Yatna is there. Tarkikas also talk about it. What is this yatna? So an example is given. I had a good example. Yatna, see yatna and prayatna. So in prayatna, do your duty, do your job. There prayatna, take an effort. At least make an effort. Do it like a karma yogi. Whether it works or not is not your issue. That's what Bhagavan Gita Acharya would say. So karma yoga is what you make prayatna, you do karma. So this is the understanding. When you make yatna, prayatna, then I have put a lot of effort, means that person has done a lot of karma, a lot of work is associated with karma. But that is not the case. Yatna and kriya are different. Yatna precedes the karma. So there an example is given to understand. See, if you have a flu or something, your body becomes very heavy. You don't want to even, move, let alone get up from the bed. So when someone says, just get up, take a walk, you'll feel, take some fresh air. You don't feel like getting up. That's one thing. Second, when the fever starts to go away, like 3 days flu, whatever, somehow, you went through these 3 days and want to get up. During the fever or after the fever, when you want to get up, but the body is so heavy, the yatna is being done within, but you can't get up. Or those who have an experience of, some kind of a hurt, accident kind of thing, or, the leg gets, etc., you are unable to walk. So sometimes, those are spinal injury or something like that. I've gone through this. I had to physically lift the leg to turn in the bed. In my bed, to turn around, it was so painful. I had to lift my leg myself and then turn a little so that I am somehow comfortable. Why couldn't I move it? Why did I have to lift it? So you can imagine those who have, the Angavikara. So they have this yatna, but they can't move the body. So karma is with the body, but yatna is in the mind. So that is the difference. So here, niryatna is, that is not there. There is no yatna, there is no prayatna. And thereby, kriya is possible, but yatna itself is not there. That can also be a hetu. Niryatna, atah eva avikriya. Also another hetu. Earlier hetu we have seen yugapat pashyati iti avikriya. Then, so is there an ichha at least? Ichha precedes the yatna again. Ichha precedes the yatna, and yatna, karma, etc. can leave samskara leading to ichha again. So it's a vicious circle. Anichannatma does not have any desire. And icchantim buddhim pashyati. See, pashyati, there sakshitvena pashyati and tadatmya sambandhena pashyati are two different things. When tadatmya sambandha happens, then jiva bhava is there. Samsarna. Then the desire in the buddhi appears to be my desire. Oh, I want this. There is nothing that the Atma wants. Kritakrityasya kaspruha, says Bhagavan Gaudapadacharya, Karikakara. Kritakrityasya paramatmana kaspruha atmana eva. Paramatmana jivatmana. Jiva brahmaiva napara. Tasya atmana kaspruha. What craving can be there, what ichha can be there. And then cha is there, so cha wherever at the end, and then api, cha api, alupta druk. So alupta druk pashyati. Continuously sees, but what? Apashyan. Apashyan, alupta druk. Apashyan and alupta druk are contradictory. So pramatrutvena na pashyati, sakshitvena satta bhana ityadi. So sattam bhanam cha pradati ityartha, sakshitvena. So that is the 71st verse. Further, the refrain is what? Dvishantim advishanatma, dvishantim buddhim pashyati. There is dvesha. There can be raga dvesha. So these are all upalakshana. See, 5-6 verses are given, but none of these are really complete. I mean, the entire put together is not a complete list. These are all upalakshana. So anything that, this is something that I'm feeling, I've never felt this. If we have some kind of an emotion that we have never felt, that is also not ours. That's why the anubhava, we say anubhava, there is a special kind of anubhava. That special anubhava you have not had earlier, but it is not yours. That special anubhava is also buddhi, antakarana. You are the sakshi of that anubhava. You are anubhava swarupa. So you cannot have anubhava of the anubhava swarupa atma. Yes, it is called as anubhava, all right. But since it's a loaded word, we translate it as in English as experience, and then we expect an object. Because upasarga is sitting there. Who is akarmaka? But anu, as soon as anu comes in, then kim anu, that prashna will come up. So it will become sakarmaka, so to say. So kim anu, dvitiyam eva nasti. Kim anu, this buddhi should not come. But here, if the idea is of dvesha in the buddhi or raga, upalakshana, so raga, there should be no tadatmya sambandha. There cannot be any tadatmya sambandha of asanga atma that I am, and thereby advishan atma. I have no dvesha. But I am sakshi to that dvesha. Dvesha comes up. I am not having dvesha. Dvesha comes up like kopa comes up. Krodha, kama comes up. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha. We have to work on that is all right. What is working on that? You don't give it value. Of course, initially it is very good to say that, feel ashamed of some emotions that come up as a sadhaka. Oh, how could I think this? How could I, think bad about some person? Why did this thought come up? See, why did this thought come up? How could I think? That's where we start. How could I think? So I have participated in the thinking, but that's not the idea. Slowly, when we understand this comes up, then the less you give value to it, you are a witness to it, it comes up, it goes. It comes up, it goes. You don't act upon it. Slowly you distance yourself. The more you distance yourself from, see, you distance yourself from what you say, the people who are holding back your progress, etc. So you treat the antakarana also like that kind of a entity. An entity, so like the parent tells the child, you stay away from this kid. He's no good. He does not study, you will also stop studying. He always keeps on, playing mischief. You will also become mischievous. So this idea apply to you parent the antakarana also. Don't go to this Vishaya. That Vishaya is not good for you. Antakarana does not listen. Worse than the child. Even for grown-ups. So then you wean yourself away. So what do you say, then there are friends Chaitra and Maitra, and there is a Yajnadatta who is not good. Then Chaitra tells Maitra, don't, be around with him. He'll do something, the blame will be on you as well. You will also get spoiled. Then he does not listen. Chaitra has done his job. Finally, what does Chaitra do? He will distance himself from Maitra. So you distance yourself from the Antakarana also. Okay, you go around. So slowly these, all these emotions that are not good for sadhana, they'll come up and go, come up and go. So you focus on something which is good, or you focus on the opposite of that, and so you wean yourself away, or you train yourself on good quality. So good samskaras will, when they are more, bad samskaras go away. So this advishana atma, that is the atma. Advishana atma, dvishantim buddhim pashyati sakshitvena. What about this kopa, raga? Kopa, dvesha is mentioned here. Kopa is taken separately. Generally, raga is what? Raga is that which gives you sukha. And opposite is dvesha, which gives dukkha. So here dvesha and kopa are similar. So I think there is a tippana here. Yeah. Let's look at the tippana. If not tippana, tika or tippana. Let's look at Tatascha is done 72nd verse. There was no introduction. So samaksha paroksha vishaya bhedat kopa dveshayo visheshaha drashtavyaha. So dvesha and kopa can be interchangeable. But anger and hate also brings up anger. Anger also is towards where there is hate. So they are together. How do you differentiate? So Bhagavan Tikakara says samaksha paroksha vishaya bhedat. Samaksha, kopa is with someone who is right in front of you. There is anger. And paroksha vishaya, somebody with vishaya which is not nearby, not paroksha. Samaksha paroksha vishaya bhedat. So samaksha here, paroksha is what? Not aparoksha, not pratyaksha. So apratyaksha. Paroksha vishaya, there is dvesha. So thereby, vishesha drashtavyaha, between the difference between what? Kopa and dvesha. But atma is not that. Therefore, akopanaha atma. Akopanaha api atma. Kupyantim buddhim cha pashyati. So again, that kopa and dvesha emotions are gone. What about dukkha? Dukkhinim buddhi. Buddhi is dukkhi. Dukkha is buddhi dharma. Therefore, dukkhasya asyaha asti iti buddhi what? Dukkhini. Tam dukkhinim buddhim nirdukha atma. Nirgata dukkha yasmat atmana saha atma nirdukha atma pashyati. Sakshitvena again. Chayeva indeed. Then nissukha, or sukha is there, then ananda swarupa atma. Swarupa ananda and sukha are different things. Swarupa sukha is swarupa ananda. Sukha and ananda are interchangeable. When anandam brahma is mentioned, then Satchidananda Atma, then Ananda is Swarupa. What is Sukha? Vishaya related Sukha. So that Sukha comes up and goes. So agantuka sukha that is there, that is not swarupananda. Therefore, sukha, who has sukha? Buddhi. Sukhinim api buddhim nissukha atma pashyati. Further what? Further, amuhyamanaha atma. There is no moha, delusion in atma. When Arjuna had shoka moha, shokagrasta, mohagrasta, that moha is in buddhi, he thinks he has moha. Bhagavan deals with that kind of Arjuna, not the Pratyagatma Arjuna. So here, amuhyamanaha atma, muhyantim buddhim pashyati, then akalpayan atma. Atma does not do kalpana. Atma swarupa, swabhava, not swarupa. Swabhava is, it appears in different manner. Vividam jagat becomes vividam jagat, as though. But Atma is what? Akalpayan. It is due to Maya. Maya does all this kalpana. Maya sarvasya sambhavat. All this vividha, prapancha vidha, manifold, unimaginable things. That's why, there is no shortage of surprise. Of course, I mean, the world has shrunk so much that every bit of news is bombarded onto you. So there are no surprises anymore that way. I mean, something happens in some corner of the world, we know. Nothing is, impossible. Why? Maya sarvasya sambhavat. But Atma is akalpayan. Atma, without doing kalpana, kalpayantim buddhim, Maya rupa. Maya karya, Maya rupa only. Sattva-rajas, tamas is, there are only three ingredients. Sattva, rajas and tamas. But so many varieties. So many varieties, unimaginable. Only with three ingredients. Those are not separate ingredients also. Sabhavata only. But just a little change will give you so much. How can three things give so much? Generally when we cook, what, let's say, dal, roti, sabji. Imagine that, staple diet. COVID situation, vegetables are not available. You have stocked up dal. Rice is there, atta is there. So dal, roti, atta. Dal, roti, chawal. So rice, dal and roti. So these three are there. So what combinations are possible in this? One day how many combinations can you make? And these are finished products. You think of some ingredients with three things. What all can you make? What all can you make? But it is not so. Those are not the examples. Our examples are RGB, red, green and blue. In the video, there are additive and subtractive methodologies. So painters will use three primary colors, which are what? Red, yellow and blue. In the technology field, when there is light, positive, the painting is negative, subtractive. And this thing is, with light, there are three different primary colors. So red, green, blue. You get so many colors with red, green, blue. With red, yellow and blue, you get so many colors. It is not just three. I mean, just because there are three, it is not that the combinations will be only, just permutation combinations. It is not mathematical. It is art. It is science. So art and science both. What kind of combinations are possible? With these three colors, you can get golden also, silver also. From white to black, the entire range, entire spectrum. Not Vibgyor alone, that, violet, indigo, ityadi. You get so many varieties. And more so with Maya. So, akalpayan, kalpayantim buddhim. Pashyati atma, akalpayan atma. Further what? Asmaran chaiva. Atma does not recollect. So I have concession, I forget something, I say, Atma has no memory. I have no memory means what? My buddhi is failing. Antakarana is failing, but I can say I don't remember. Why? Atma has no memory. Asmaranscha atma. Asmaran atma smarantim buddhim pashyati. Plays the role of what? Antakarana plays the role. Mana, antakarana plays mana, buddhi, Cheta. And so Cheta is what? Cheta is it, and Ahankara, of course. So that Cheta is what? Is memory. Chitta. Chitta. So here, Asmaran Atma Smarantim Buddhim Pashyati. What about who goes to sleep? Buddhi goes to sleep. Because what? Aluk Tadruk Atma cannot sleep. So, Aswapan. Swap is in the meaning of to sleep. Also in the meaning of dream. So, non-dreamer, while not dreaming, while not sleeping, Shayanam Buddhim Muhu Pashyati. Muhu. This is continuous, Over and punaha. Muhu. Again and again and again. All of this is repetitive. Since when? Anadi Kalin. Anadi Janmata. Further what? Nirakaraha Atma. Sarvakaram. Buddhi takes Parinamini Buddhi. Takes Vishayakara, thereby Sarvakaram. Sarva Prapancha Vishayakaram Buddhim. Nirakaraha San Atma Pashyati. Swarthaha. Aswartham. Swartha. It is in own meaning. Buddhi has no, nothing for itself. Buddhi is taking, Buddhi has no akara really. So that's why Antakarana, elsewhere, I think Tripurarasya Ityadi in the some granthas, they talk about Nirguna Atma. And Manas is what? Manas is the moving form of the Chaitanya. Chaitanya is not moving. Moving form of Chaitanya is mind. And unmoving mind is called as consciousness. So there is such idea there. Does not fit exactly into the Vedanta Prakriya, but also fits in the Vedanta Prakriya because there is no second. So Atma itself, when moving in the sense, moving, eva moving, when there is Antakarana Chanchala, there is no Antakarana really. Real Antakarana is not there. So Kalpita Antakarana due to Maya, due to Nidra Dosha, Vidya Dosha, when there is Lelayati eva, Dhyayati eva in the Atma, that kind of a Kriya, then there is Triputi. And then the Chaitanya itself appears in the form of mind and the Prapancha. So Chaitanya itself is called as the mind. Mind is Mithya. So what will we say really? What is Vedanta Paribhasha? Vedanta jargon is what? Saying that Ghatakara Chaitanyam. Antakarana Akara Chaitanyam. Because everything is Chaitanya only, there is nothing else. So it's based on the Avachedaka. Again, Tarkika jargon there, Avachedaka, delimiter. So that which kind of segregates the Atma into pieces, into Prapancha as though. Everything is Atma, everything is Chaitanya. So Ghatakara Chaitanya, Patakara Chaitanya, Vishayakara Chaitanya, Sukhakara Chaitanya, subtle. Gross Vishaya also, subtle also. Antakarana Akara Chaitanya, Buddhyakara, Smrtiyakara, all Chaitanya. But Chaitanya cannot take Akara. So all of it is what? Anatma really. Maya Karya. But Chaitanya is Adhisthana. And what is the Satta of the Kalpita, Adhyasta? It is all Adhisthana Satya. The superimposed is not there. So it is all what? Chaitanya only appearing in that manner. Appearance is false. Namarupa is Mithya. So it is all really Chaitanya. But is it Chaitanya while being the mind? No. So it is Chaitanya and non-Chaitanya. So therefore what? When Chaitanya is as though moving, then mind. When the mind becomes still, yogi will be happy. Yogi will be very happy. Whenever the mind is still, Samadhi, Chaitanya only. But when Chaitanya is misunderstood to have Veda, then the yogi can't get it. Yogi with the Mahavakya can get it. Yogi without Mahavakya cannot get it. So here, Aswapan, Nirakaraha Sarvakaram Buddhim Pashyati. Swartha in its own self. Then Aswartham. There is no, Buddhi has absolutely no presence. It takes the Vishaya Akara. But Swartha, this Atma is what? Its own Padartha. And Swartha also what? Aswartham is dependent also. Buddhi is dependent For satta, it is dependent on Atma. Aswartham, buddhim, has no real presence. Satta is borrowed, spurti is borrowed. There is a tippana here. And niringanaha Atma. Nirakaraha, niringanaha, swartha Atma. Sarvakaram, aswartham, buddhim pashyati. What is aswartham? There is a tippana. स्वार्थ, what is स्वार्थ first? स्वमेव असाधारण परिपूर्ण आनंदाध्यात्मक अर्थ यस्य स इति सारार्थकार. So there is a सारार्थकार टीका, सारार्थ टीका. So which says what? Swartha means what? Atma is Swartha. Swartha means swameva asadharana paripurna anandatmaka artha. So paripurna ananda artha is Swarupa itself. So paripurna, limitless, complete, ekameva advitiya, that's why we say ekameva, that ananda, adi padena, that dharma you can add satchit, ananda, satyam, jnanam, jadi, whatever is mentioned there, apapa viddhatvam, jadi. All of that artha yasya atmana, sa atma is what swartha. What is aswartha buddhi? Aswartha means mamatvadina grihitaha. स्व अतिरिक्त भोग अपवर्गादि लक्षण अर्थ यया सा इति सारार्थ. यया गृहीत. यया किम गृहीत? What has been ममत्वादिना स्व अतिरिक्त अर्थ गृहीत. Everything other than itself has been taken as oneself. Ahankara, buddhi, buddhi, ahankara, all these words have been used in samanadikarana. You have to see as what is the role of antakarana there. Buddhi, called as buddhi, manas. What is the role of buddhi there? Antakarana as ahankara, tadatmya sambandha. So, bhoga apavarga lakshana. Bhoga is what? Bhoga we already know. Swargadi paryanta or brahmadi loka paryanta bhoga. Starting for iha paralaukika bhoga. Apavarga is moksha. So, who partakes of that? Atma does not need moksha. Atma is already nitya mukta. Being in one's own swarupa, that is called as moksha. But who needs moksha? One has moksha, one who is already moksha swarupa, need not have moksha, cannot get moksha also. Does not have bandha also. So, bhoga pavargadi lakshana artha yaya prapyate. With tadatmya sambandha, if we think ourselves as baddha, then yaya buddhya moksha api prapyate. Sa buddhi what? Aswartha. Swatirikta. Other than buddhi is bhoga, other than buddhi is apavarga, moksha. All that is possible through buddhi. Thereby, Atma is connected through the buddhi to all these prayojanas. Which Atma? That who is connected, who is with tadatmya sambandha, jiva Atma. But mukhya Atma is what? Swartha. Aswartha buddhi. Iti sararthakara. Then further what? In the tika, niringanaha. Who is niring? What is niringana? Niringana Atma. Aparispandha. Without any spandana. Without any what? Even it's a pulse or throbbing. You see the movement. If lack of a better word. So spandana is pulsation. So you see that pulse only is a pulsation. So you see some spandana whereby you make a difference between living and non-living. Being the same person also, when there is no spandana, the person is gone. Or you see something which is you don't know what it is. Looks like a pebble, but when you touch it, there is a spandana. So you see, oh, it is a living thing. You think that it is a stone. It is not a pebble stone. It is a living being. Spandana is there. Atma has no such spandana. Basically, what? Prana karya ityartha. Spandana is all prana karya. So even the shivering and all that. Shivers, Or you see the leaf, what is that? Touch me not. Very beautiful example there. So touch me not. You say it's just leaves, right? But you touch it, it shrinks. Touch me not. Very nice to look at that, touch it and then it shrinks. You've seen that, right? I'm sure that you have seen that. So that's a good example for parispandana. So Atma does not have such parispandana. Further, savadi is what? Buddhi. Parichinna ityartha. So here, what is the tippana there? Savadi parichinna. Yeah. Parichinna. So avadhi is a seema, a limit. They whereby, my body is only this much. However huge I am, but body is this much. Child thinks I'm tiny, he has to look up. So he says, when will I grow up? So when he grows up, still, that growth is now stunted. Want to grow tall, etc. He jumps, all that, whatever he does, skipping, all that. But after a certain age, body won't grow. Won't grow vertically. Horizontally, it can grow. However, horizontally, it grows, in all directions. All the fat, all the muscles getting, what do you say, when the muscles turn into fat, turn back into, they lose. When you lose muscles, what? The creatine goes up. So creatine goes up. That's why, generally, men have higher level of creatine than women. Got more muscle, so that disintegrates. So further more fat. But still, however huge you grow, parichinna only. So here is a savadim, that buddhi is also like that. How much ever the buddhi grows, but still limit. How much ever, Shatavadani. So Shatavadanis are there. They can deal with 100 things simultaneously. They'll be talking, they'll be talking with they'll take hundreds types, different types of questions, all different vishayas. You can ask anything from anywhere. They'll have such simultaneous thoughts going on. So if someone says, somebody will say, you make compose a shloka in a particular chandas, and it should have this kind of a meaning. So they'll keep on adding. So this fellow will start making such a shloka in his mind. So he'll think of one. Then someone else will ask some tangential question, something, some music or something, some shastra, something from somewhere else. This fellow has to keep 100 parallel thoughts, and not, they are all, he keeps on jumping. He'll have vikara there. Buddhi has vikara. He is going here, he'll solving that problem, then another. Like a modern day computer or AI. So they're called Shatavadhani. 100 things they can, do together. But still what? Parichinna. Finally, parichinna only. Yes, very appreciable, award winning, all that is fine. But still parichinna. Savadim. How much ever brilliant you are, still. But other way also you look at. How much ever dull. That dullness also has an avadhi. Puja Swamiji would not like these judgmental words. So he was very vocal on it. For example, you call someone dull or murkha or something, He says, what murkha? Why do you call him murkha? He eats his own food. He puts the food in his mouth. He does not put in his ear. So why will you call him murkha? So he didn't like these judgmental words. He said that it's okay. That's his karma. He has to live with it. You have to live with it. It's your karma. But why do you call him murkha? He is not murkha. At least, he can eat his food. Murkha cannot eat his food also. There are no such, tags needed. So that dullness also has an avadhi, savadim. But Atma is what? Nirgata iyattaha. Iyata means what? Iyata means only this much. Atma does not have that limit, only this much. There is no this much in terms of Atma. How much? There is no answer to that. Kiyat parinama. Kiyat parimana in this. Kiyat parimana, not parinama. Kiyat parimana. How much measure? So he says, Atma is what? Kiyat nirgata iyat. That iyat, limit has gone away. Meaning, that word cannot be used. That Atma is this much, so much, so much. Atma is paripurna. So nirgata iyattaha. Nirgata iyatta yasmat. That is nirgata iyattaha. Atma. Savadim buddhim pashyati. Where sarvadeheshu. In all the dehas. So not only in your own deha. Atma is seeing it in each and every deha. That Atma is one. Why? Because nirgata iyatta Atma. Sarvadeshu ekayeva nirgateyattaha Atma. Savadim buddhim pashyati. This is where our entire sequence ends. And all these again what? Anything left over, you add that also. They are all pair of opposites. Atma in Swarupa does not have any of these. So here, 75th verse, Tika is also over, I think. There is nothing else. Let's see quickly if I left out any Tika. Learning from mistakes. So leave something. Couple of times I've left something. So here, Parachim, there is a Tippana here on Parachim. Yeah, here, Parachim. So I think, yeah, I went ahead. So here, Nirangina, then Nistrikala. Yeah, so looking at the Tika Tippana, I left the Shloka itself. So anyway, not that sleepy. So I could identify a Shloka missed. Nistrikala, Nistrikala, Trikalastham. Nistrikala, Atma does not have any Kala. Atma was always there. He is there, will always be there. I will always be there. So there should be no scare of Mrityu. So people say the idea is generally people are not scared of death. Although we say that we are scared of death, what are we really scared of? Death is a given. There is nothing to be scared of death. But what are we scared of? The process of dying. That's why the prayer is what? Give me sahaja mrityu. Sahaja mrityu is a very high, lofty goal to have for that dharmika life. But death is not an issue. The methodology, the way a person dies is an issue. So here, the Atma does not die. That is not an issue. Nistrikala. There is no Kala at all for Atma. Kala is also Mrityu. Kala is also Mrityu. Bhagavan Yamaraja is called as what? Kala. In Kathopanishad Bhashya, Bhagavan Bhashyakara does Namaskara to Mrityave cha, Nachiketase cha. Mrityave and Nachiketase cha. So it does Namaskara to Mrityu. So there is an Akshepa there. Purvapaksha says, for every, every auspicious thing, you avoid the inauspicious Kala also. And you are thinking of Mrityu. You are doing Namaskara to Mrityu also. So Bhagavan Bhashyakara, the idea is what? Mrityu is the teacher here. He is Jnani. Kala, Mrityu, Yamaraja is Jnani here. That Jnani, Jnanamasi is Swarupa of the Brahma eva. Ishvara, Paramatma. So to that, who is playing the role of Mrityu, to him Namaskara, because he is the teacher here. But Nistrikala, that Kala, Yamaraja, Mrityu is what? Is really not applicable to Atma. Atma is Nistrikala. But Trikalastham Buddhim. Nistrikala, or we can say here, Trikalastham. Trikalastham here, not all three Kalas, but Bhuta, Bhavishyat, and which has these, adjectives of Kala possible. That kind of Buddhi. Oh, I was sharper in Bhuta Kala. I am less sharp now. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. My Buddhi is failing me now. I forget shlokas. So I miss shlokas in between. Buddhi is going to fail further. So people say, smile. Tomorrow is going to be worse. So whether it is an optimistic thing or pessimistic, you can decide. You smile. Why? Tomorrow is going to be worse. Today you be happy. So here, Nistrikalastham. However, tomorrow is, that is applicable to Buddhi. Atma is always free. Atma is Ananda Swarupa. So you remain happy. Atma is already Ananda Swarupa. So you tap the Atma Swarupa, force the Antakarana to move there and not outward. So you can be, connected to the Atma Dharma. That Nistrikala Atma, Trikalastham Buddhim Pashyati, Kutastaha. So Nirvikara, Kutastha, Kutavat Tishtati iti Kutastha, Kshanabhanguram Buddhim. So here Kshanabhanguram, earlier the word has come up. Kshana something with the Visheshana. This Kshanabhangura is the Prapancha and Atma, and what? Kshanika Vijnanavadi says Vijnana is also Kshanabhanguram. Siddhanti says Vijnana, which is Kshanabhangura, is not the Atma Swarupa Vijnana. Not Swarupa Jnana. That is Buddhi only. So Kshanabhanguram Buddhim Kutastha Atma, Nitya Atma Pashyati. Natu Kshanabhangura Vijnana. That is not the Atma. That which is Kshanabhangura goes away in a moment. What is momentary? Kshanabhangura is destroyed in a moment. Momentary. Momentary is Buddhi, Vritti, not Atma. That appears to be jnana. Buddhi is jnana karana karaka. Also what? With bhave vyutpatti, buddhi is what? That thin is in the meaning of bhave. It is jnana, pramarupa. That all has a vishaya expectation. As soon as the vishaya akara goes away, buddhi is gone. In that akara vritti is gone. That is Shanabangura Vijnana. Vijnana. Shanabangura Vijnana. But Atma is what? Kutastha, Nitya. Nirapeksha. Does Atma need anything? No. Sapeksha Buddhi. Buddhi has a dependency on Atma also to function, and Vishaya also. Without the Vishaya, the Buddhi dies away. That Vishaya need not be Bahya Vishaya only. It can be within brought by Smriti, Samskara, Samskara Janya. So Sapeksha all the way, Buddhi. Dependent. Atma is independent. Nirapeksha cha Atma. Sapeksha Buddhim pashyati. And Parachim. Parachim is outward. Pratyag Advaya Atma. Advaya. One without a second. Pratyag innermost Atma. Parachim outer. Focus outer. Or outward. Buddhim pashyati. So there is a tippana here. What is the tippana? Parachim Bahyam Sheshabhutam. Bahyam Sheshabhutam. So Atma is Ashesha. Bahya Buddhi is not Ashesha, Shesha. Pratyak is Sarvantara, Sarvasheshi ityartha. What remains? What will remain? You do Nirakarana of everything. What remains is Atma. So Sarvasheshi. Everyone is dependent on this. Atma is independent, Nirapeksha. So this verse, and then we saw Savadim Nirgata Yatta Ityadi, Sarvadeshu Pashyati. What was the first line for that? So Nirapeksha, that was the first line. So I missed half a verse, not full verse, half a verse. Further what? In the Tika, Dukkhadinam Sakshitvat cha Atmanah Dukkhadhyakara Parinamaha na yukta ityaha. Now this Dukkha and Sukha itya, Dukkha, Sukha, all of these, whatever was mentioned, all of these and more, all the emotions that you can think of or not think of, what you desire or want to do away with, all of those are what? Are Sakshya. They are not your Swarupa. Sakshitvacha Atmanaha Dukkhadhyakara Parinama. Dukkhadinam Sakshitva. Because I can know my Dukkha. Nobody else can know. I can know my Dukkha. What do you know about my Dukkha? That's what we ask others. What do you know about my Dukkha? You won't be able to handle it. Hey, he also has his own Dukkha. I don't see it. He or she also has her own Dukkha, his or her own Dukkha. I don't know why. Atma is Sakshi. And I have connected myself with the Antakarana in such a manner that I take those dharmas as mine. And only that Antakarana, not other Antakarana. So Atma, which is Sakshi for all of these, as Aham, individualized Aham, that Aham also, without Tadatmya Sambandha, will be free. But with Tadatmya Sambandha, superimposes all of these Dukkha adi dharmas on oneself. But Sakshitva, that is Hetu. Because I know my Dukkha, basically what Hetu? Drishyatvat Mithya ityartha. They are not my dharma. So Atmanaha Dukkhadi Akara Parinamaha na yuktaha. If I take that Akara, then I am one of them. If I am one of them, then I cannot know. The earlier example, Chaitra telling Maitra that stay away from Yajnaratta. Maitra is one of them. He cannot stay away. So with Tadatmya Sambandha, you will become one of the Anatma, not Atma. You cannot become, but as though, with Tadatmya Sambandha. So Dukkha the Akara Parinama na yukta. Because I know, if I know, I cannot be having those dharmas. They are not mine. I am not them. They are not mine. Na yuktaha ityaha etasmacha iti. Thereby, the mula etasmacha, due to this and due to this also. What karana? Etasmacha karana. Ayam artha vyavasiyatam. So conclude in this manner. This is how you. So there was also a question there. How do I decide which darshana to follow? You are all refuting each other's paksha. Siddhanti said, you hold on to this confidently, you hold on to Vedanta, Shruti Siddhartha. So ayam artha vyavasiyata. What is it? Dukhi yadi bhaved atma, kassakshi dukhi no bhaved, dukhi nas sakshita yukta, sakshino dukhita tatha. पदच्छेद है जो दुखी यदि भवेत आत्मा आक्षेपार्थे शक्यार्थे लिंग कह साक्षी क साक्षी दुखिनः भवेत दुखिनः साक्षिता अयुक्ता साक्षिणः दुखिता तथा both ways. So here he says यदि आत्मा दुखी भवेत, if at all atma were to be dukhi, sorrowful, then कह साक्षी कह दुखिनः साक्षी भवेत. Who will be the sakshi of the dukhi? So atma yadi dukhi bhavet means what? Dukha asya asti iti dukhi. If atma had dukha, if at all you say atma has dukha, I have dukha means atma, I, pratyagatma, I have dukha. Then who is the sakshi to that dukhi? How do you know that you are dukhi? Because I know when I say I have dukkha, that means I am dukhi means what? I know that I have sorrow. I am sorrowful. So who is knowing the sorrowful Atma? So will someone else. So anavastha dosha. Dukkhina sakshi ka bhavet. Kaha api na bhavet. Aksheparte kaha. Aksheparte kim. In pullinga ka. So who will be sakshi to this Atma? Who is dukhi? Dukhi Atma, who will be sakshi? See, dukkha, if you are sakshi, then you know. I know the dukkha. But you are saying, no, this is my dukkha. I know that I am dukhi. You don't know dukkha. You are saying, I know I am dukhi. Then who will be the witness to the dukhi? How do you make the tall claim that I am dukhi? I am sorrowful. I know sorrow and I am sorrowful. There are two different things. You should not get confused between this. I know my dukkha. When you say, I know dukkha, then knowing dukkha, I cannot be dukhi, sorrowful. If I am dukhi, I know I am dukhi. Not dukkha, I know that I am dukhi. Then who is the witness to this dukhi? That Atma cannot be dukhi. So dukhi is antakarana. You know the dukkha, you know the dukhi antakaranam. You are not dukhi. So I am not dukhi. Dukhina sakshi bhavet. Dukkhasya sakshi dukhi. Dukhina sakshi ka. Who will be? It be. So here, dukkhina sakshita yukta. One who is dukhi cannot be sakshi to that dukkha, cannot be sakshi to that dukhi itself. He cannot be sakshi. If I am sorrowful, then I am not witnessing the sorrow. I have assumed that it is my dharma. So who will be my sakshi? I know. When I know I am dukhi, then that dukhi, I am not dukhi. The knower and the known has to be different. We started with that. The entire analysis started there. Mamaham janami. So here dukkhinam mamaham janami. Pashyantam mamaham janami. Therefore, if Pashyantam has been converted, Atma is Pullinga, it has been converted to Buddhi here. Even Antakarana word has not been used because Napunsakalinga in second case has the first case form. So it may appear Pullinga also has second, Pullinga in second case appears Napunsakalinga only. Napunsaka in first case also can be misunderstood as first case or second case, and second case also has So Atmanam and Dukkhinam may seem very similar, but if they are in the Napunsakalinga also, they may be confused. So your Buddhi word has been used very smartly by the Granthakara. Buddhi word, not Antakarana, because one may confuse the second case declension of that. As Atma with Samandarika with Atma. So Buddhim, here's Strilinga. So Dukkhinim, not Dukkhim. Dukkhinim here. So Dukkhini, Ka Dukkhini. Here it is not Dukkhinam. In Pullinga and Napunsakalinga, you will get Dukkhi only. But here, what? Dukhinim. So Iniyanta does not have the same form for Napunsakalinga and Pullinga, but second case can be confusing for other words. Some other words may appear like Pullinga. So here, Dukhina Sakshita Ayukta. Dukhi and Sakshi, you cannot be Sakshi as well as Dukhi, both at the same time. If you know the Dukhi, then you are the Sakshi. You are not Dukhi. And Sakshi cannot have Dukhita. You cannot have Dukha, therefore Sakshina Dukhita Tatha Ayukta. So यदि आत्मा दुखी भवेत् तर्हि दुख दुखिनः साक्षी क भवेत् क अपि न भवेत् कोऽपि न भवेत् इत्यर्थः दुखी वाय दुखिनः साक्षिता युक्ता साक्षिणश्च तथा तथा साक्षिणः दुखिता अयुक्ता साक्षी cannot be दुखी cannot be साक्षी so here दुःखादीनां साक्षित्वाच्च आत्मनो दुःखाद्याकार परिणाम न युक्ता इत्याह एतस्माच्च to this further टीकाकार says ननु दुःखी एव साक्षी भवेत् इति so for the first line यदि आत्मा दुखी भवेत् तस्य दुखिना आत्मना साक्षी क भवेत् so ka is not a question there so if the Purva Pakshi does not understand the rhetoric the tone and he assumes that it's a question he answers it nanu dukhi eva sakshi bhavet Siddhanti says no therefore second line tatra dukhina sakshita ayukta sakshina dukhita ayukta so kah dukhina ka sakshi bhavet is not a question it is a rhetoric it is aksheparthik so if the Purva Pakshi misunderstood he is answered in the second half of the verse that is the 76th verse what is the 77th we'll see in the next part dukhina sakshitva ityadi यत् साक्षात् सच्चिदानंदं प्रत्यगाद्वयम् अक्रियं तन्नमामि नृसिंहस्य योगी गम्यं परम पदम नमस्ते धन्यवादः see you in the next part